first time was so nice. We had to do it twice. Let's go. We are back-to-back champions. Welcome back to the Strompcast, episode 270. Before I introduce my co-host, boys, our other co-host had some very big news on the weekend. Not only was he a back-to-back champion, but shout out to Richard. Congratulations on his engagement.
Shout out, Richard.
Shout out, Richard. Well done, man. Never a doubt with us anyway. We knew she was going to say yes. But anyway.
Finally an honest, committed man in this group. Am I right, boys?
That's right.
Whoa.
Sam soon.
Yeah.
Thanks. Shout out, Richard. You could follow him down there. But firstly, let me introduce my main co-host, one of my main co-hosts, Danny. How are you doing today, man?
Parece repetição, mas é diferente, or something like that, right? Something like that. I'm feeling great. Bicampeão feels great. Dobradinha is in sight. And according to, and also this comment, and according to
his fucking uncle or something.
Go get his uncle. We're doing it again, baby. We're doing it. He's running it back. But yeah, man, it was, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Drank so much that on Saturday I barely remember what happened in this game. I had to rewatch the highlights like 4 or 5 times. All I remember are the goals and then the celebrations afterwards. I don't really remember tactics or anything like that. I'll be quite honest with you. But yeah, feels good to get this one. I think this is definitely like the most like fulfilling one, if you will, because of all the injuries we had to deal with, the abandonment of the ship from Amorim. It seemed like it was lost for a second there, but it was never in doubt. Am I right, boys?
Facts, man. Facts. And Chris, how are you today, man?
I'm great. I've had a couple moments over the past couple days where I just like remind myself, just like champions.
Yeah,
champions. Can't take that away. We're B, baby. We're by.
Hell yeah.
On that note, just quickly, someone came up to me because I was in the Sporting London cafe. Someone came up to me. I believe I was quite drunk. I think it was Omar Pereira, a friend of the show. And he said, what Danny said last podcast made me laugh so much. And I was like, oh yeah, Danny did say that. Do you want to repeat what you said, Danny? For the people
I said I translated it from Portuguese. I wanted to say eu sou bi, meaning I am bi. Bicampeão. Like, we need to chill out, guys. The allegations need to slow down here. Or they don't.
I was just so excited. Yeah, it was one-way traffic. I never had any doubt. Sometimes I have doubt. I just, for some reason, had no doubt. I wasn't even scoreboard watching that hard, even though I was aware that some sort of calamity was happening or briefly happening or something. I don't know. I was like, oh, they'll probably just get a 90th minute winner. Like, we like a draw is not enough, you know? Like, they're not gonna fucking actually lose. But it would be funny if they did, but like they won't. They did end up dropping points, but it didn't matter because we steamrolled Guimarães, completely steamrolled them. They showed up in red kits, and just truthfully disgraced themselves. You would think that they weren't playing for anything, truthfully, the way that they played. It's like, you guys need to win, and now you're not in Europe. Like, yikes. I thought they would be hotter to face their old manager. I thought they would put up maybe some resistance, but we steamrolled them. We were the best team in the league. I thought we lost it several times, even though I still thought that first statement was true. We were the best team in the league over the course of the season. Several hiccups, but we got it done.
Thanks. You can follow myself there, but most importantly, make sure you follow all things Alvalade on social media and podcast platforms. Before we get into the actual match, we all spoke about a little bit. Danny, where were you? What were you doing when Sporting won the title?
Man, I was just at home, really. I was chilling at home. Nothing special. I had like already like things planned for later on that night. So yeah, very boring one for me. I just celebrated at home with my cat.
Nice. Chris, what about you? What were you?
I actually had a somewhat interesting / exotic venue for my viewing. I was at my friend's bachelor party at the Jersey Shore.
Nice.
So on Saturday at noon, I was literally laid out on the beach watching the game on internet with my full brightness on and like blocking it. It was perfect, no hiccups.
Nice.
Used my totally legal streaming platform. It worked perfectly the entire time. It was amazing. Sipping some brews, definitely hungover from the night before. For some reason, I also thought the game was at 10:30 because someone said that, and then I just never checked. I woke up at 11:30, and I was like, "Oh my god!" The game is on, but it wasn't. It's all good. Got to see the entire thing on the beach. Came back, had a chill night. I mean, I can't say I've ever watched a game on the beach before, so that 1-0 while doing that.
I like that.
It was a nice watch, and then I watched some of the festivities and the crowd and the March Bombal on my iPad later on, sporadically throughout the night because I knew that shit was going till 6 a.m. Portugal time. So easily, 9 p.m., I can easily still be watching that shit, which is not always the case for Portugal.
Yeah. I mentioned that I was at the Sporting London Cafe. I had a lot to drink.
What were you sipping on?
Green. I was sipping on the Superbox, man. You can see they had it in a bucket of ice.
Nice. You got buckets of Superbox. Oh, that's brilliant.
For fire.
I think I had about, so before that, I didn't realize they were doing buckets. So me and my brother and my dad probably had four each, just normal Superbox. Then we spotted those and probably had about four buckets. There is a video of me on the internet and here of me singing "We Are the Champions" at the top of my lungs, standing on a table, absolutely smashed out of my head.
Good turnout.
It was rammed, but luckily we got there so early that we had a table and we were indoors, and it was good, man. But I will say, if you ever get a chance to go down to London Sporting Cafe, it is.
Is that what it's actually called, or is that just
Sporting Cafe Londres? I think is the full name. But yeah, make sure you get down there. I believe they're showing the Tata game on Sunday as well, so make sure if you can get down there. But they show games all season, so if you ever do get a chance to go down there, lovely people, lovely crowd, top night.
Looks like good food too.
We're in Europe again next season. Hopefully, we get an away game in London for you, Sam. Always rooting for that.
Likely, we might get Tottenham.
There's gonna be 6 English teams, man.
Tottenham's in play.
Yeah, just to show you the food as well, just to tempt you guys a little more. Bang! Look at that, man.
They must have had so many chefs there, cooking up if they're serving that many people.
Low-key though, they might only have just 2 Marias back there, and they're
just chefing for hundreds of people.
I genuinely think there was about three people in the back there. I will say I
bro.
quite a lot.
They're just churning out quality.
Yeah, good food though, really good food. But yeah, of course, there is a game to review, and that is one we alluded to earlier, which was against Victoria Guimarães, a shadow of the team that drew to us 4-4. Definitely a shadow themselves, but I also think
look at that XG, bro. They got to give themselves a round of applause because that's genuinely impressive.
Yeah.
But maybe it's due to the home atmosphere. The sporting support, the crowd support was amazing, and it's been like that for the last few games, but especially this time it was absolutely phenomenal. But before we get into the game, let me read out the lineup as followed: Rui Silva, Eduardo Quaresma, Diamonde, Inacio, Morita, De Bast, Jenny, Maxi, Pedro Gonçalves with a goal, Trincao, and Gyökeres with the second. Off the bench, St. Just, Kenda, Mateus Reis, Harder, and Fresneda. Danny, what were your overall thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, as we already alluded to the XG too, it was almost a perfect game from us. I don't really remember them even coming anywhere close to our net, let alone a shot off, which I mean, 0.0 XG makes sense, right? First off, I was a little annoyed because these guys were coming out fucking swinging, literally, in the sense where Diomande was gone off I think 15 minutes, if not even that, when St. Just came in.
The first minute, they did a tackle on Gyökeres, which was studs high on the knee, nothing cool.
That was the entire team talk, was just try to hurt them, and then they tried that, and then That was it.
And I feel like that's been like the last like 5 games that we've come up against. It's just teams just trying to beat up Gyökeres at this point. You know, it's kind of been ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, you know, foul after foul. How many cards did they get? Only 4, which is kind of crazy to me. But I thought we played. Every single one of them played really well. Even St. Just, I thought played really well when he came on. I've talked shit about Murita for the last few weeks. I thought, you know, it was a great game from him, to be fair to him. No Hulman either, so I was a little worried going into this game. I'm not going to lie. But like I said, it wasn't necessary to even feel that worry. I thought Maxi was probably our man of the match personally. I love his work ethic, his work rate. Even on the ball, he gives us so much. Off the ball, he gives us so much. Plot had a really good game. Of course, he gets the first and really the title sealing goal. And then even with Gyökeres' goal, it was like a chip that Pot played. I'm not sure if he actually meant for Gyökeres or not, but Gyökeres sort of gets the deflection. He fights through like 2-3 other defenders and just like sort of like slides it into the bottom corner, whips out his shirt, shows the muscles. I seen a quote today. I don't know if they're all doing interviews this whole week, which I like. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not a big fan of, seeing as there's a fucking Taça game in a few days. But they're all doing interviews, and from one of the quotes I seen on Twitter, Victor alludes. I don't know if this is real or not. Maybe it's fake. But from what I seen, Victor says like, "Oh, when I first came to this country, they called me fat."
He did say, yeah, he did.
Okay.
It was, yeah.
So I think Victor needs to start recognizing this podcast as a, you know, we made the Thick Vic. Like, I don't understand why it's not in the Portuguese Giria yet, why it hasn't really taken off. I mean, it's not like they don't speak English in that team anyways.
Should be a CMTV headline somewhere.
Thick Vic. I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah, they don't usually just leave, you know, stuff like that on the table.
On the table, yeah. Maybe this week on CMTV. We'll see. I'm going to my dad's tomorrow, and he'll for sure have it on. So we'll see if it's on the Rodape. But yeah, man. Like I said, I don't even remember this game half the time, bro. Once it was 1-0 up, I knew it was ours.
Jenny kept pissing me off. I was like,
yeah. Off the post though, he could have scored an absolute.
I thought that was in, man.
Oh my god. Yeah, I thought that was in too. But yeah, I'm with you there, Chris. I didn't have a doubt, but it was slowly creeping in the first half when we couldn't get the goal.
Mm-hmm.
But and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I see Bruno Varela with a 7.1. There had to be one big save that I'm just not remembering right now.
Did he save Jenny's shot onto the post, or was it just straight post?
I don't think so. He had one save.
Or is it one where he came running off his net?
He just kind of like broke up the play. Right?
Yeah, I can't remember now though. But yeah, overall, I mean, once we got the first one in, I wasn't worried. Especially, of course, you know, I was scoreline watching. I wasn't really watching that chaos either. But I wasn't, you know, 1-0. If they, you know, there was 1-1 at the time, I wasn't that confident that they wouldn't win. I mean, I thought they would, especially down to 10 men with Braga. But yeah, once that 1-0 went in, and the way we were playing that game, the atmosphere, the sun was shining.
It did feel like the shadows were annoying.
Yeah, it was. TV.
Yeah. But it felt like the stadium was just like a volcano about to erupt, just waiting to erupt.
Yeah. You can sense it too. I seen like a YouTube video from that grasshopper guy. I'm not sure if you guys
the groundhopper
or the groundhopper. Sorry, and he showed a scene where it was like the stadium was. I think it was still 0-0 or maybe 1-0 at that time. The stadium was packed, but he starts filming from the outside of the stadium, and it's like a fucking ton of people outside jumping, dancing, blah, blah. And then he turns it to the stadium. Seats are completely full. Everyone's there vibing and shit like that. Like, it was absolute scenes, mate.
Yeah. Shout out Groundhopper. Good guy.
Yeah.
Fill out the moat, expand the stadium, bro. There's not enough seats in the house, man.
I agree. But then comes Taça de Liga time when we only have 20,000 people or 15,000.
Nah, dude. Don't only think of this game and the good times.
Facts. You're right. My bad. Yeah, I'm done there.
Go on. Chris, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I was just waiting for it to happen. It finally did. I was actually very happy that it was Pot, and I think that, I mean, Joker has obviously got the second, and we ended up winning 2-0 rather than 1-0 against Boavista, which I thought was kind of a similar game in the sense that, like, Boavista was on the back foot of that game, to say the least, in a very similar way that Guimarães was. Paulinho's goal in that game, because he scored the 1-0 winner, is always iconic. And I still, like, think about it, that game, that moment. That title was the one that meant the most to me for obvious reasons.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Now we have 3. We have an excess of riches, as Varanda says, the most successful club in Portugal since 2018.
Yeah.
It's just too many trophies now. We gotta pick our favorites now. So
should we get used to this, or should we
never get used to it? Never get used to it.
Yeah, I agree.
You gotta always think it's the last one, because you never know, man. You never know when the next 17-year drought is gonna hit.
Facts.
So I was happy that it was Pot that got what I thought could be an iconic goal in the same way, and I think it will be, maybe to a lesser extent, because it wasn't the winner and there was a second goal after, but it was the winner. It was the goal that won the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a nice finish. It was a tidy finish. I thought he was playing well, and I was like, finally, kind of. And it was a really nice finish, and I was waiting for that to happen. Finally did. Relieve some stress. Obviously, you're still still a little jitterish because it's only 1-0. All it takes is one attack. Obviously, they've done nothing yet. Maybe they could. They just break once on the counter or some shit. They score their one chance. We've seen it happen. So once the second went in, those last 15 minutes, it was just chill mode. I was just taking it in. We can talk about season wrap individual players, but he's a very, very Jokeres. The second goal, just blasting through guys. Golden boot, hopefully. We'll find out.
One game to go.
Keeping our fingers crossed that Mbappe doesn't score one goal in his last game.
Against Real Sociedad, I think. I want to say.
Real Madrid not playing for anything?
No, I
Maybe
think so.
Sits? Or is he going to try to get this? Does he care about this? Does he know? He probably knows.
I think there was a stat that he's the first Madrid player in his debut season to score over, I think, 30-something goals. Even Ronaldo couldn't do it. So
he's getting inflated too at the beginning of the season, honestly.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
So I mean, that shit doesn't matter. But now I'm obviously ready for it to happen. It's a shame that Vic's last game doesn't count. What today's Wednesday, right? As Danny mentioned, it does not feel like there's another game. It feels like it's over. It's just over now. We did it. So it's crazy that we kind of have to get back at it. I don't remember I think it was Quaresma. He said what are you thinking about the next game or whatever? He's like, I think we're just gonna be drunk until Tuesday, and then we'll figure it out. And it's facts. Vibes are high, interviews are flying, content is being produced, chilling is being done. That random guy Allison is in training with the first team. It is just, we're chilling. It's it feels like the last couple of days of a grade school before summer break, where you just have to be there, but no one's doing anything. So you're literally just chilling. It just feels like these are the last couple of practices. We're chilling, and then we get to go on summer break. But I mean, there's another massive game coming up, and I guess it's almost time to turn our attention to that. But this was the big one, and we got it done. So I hope us relishing in it doesn't affect that second one, but we got the bigger one. And I think if we can get the second one, we can completely destroy their club, in the sense that they might fire their manager, the president might have to resign, might not run for re-election. This game could really fuck their shit up. So that would be awesome to just add to the double,
But with that being said, he might also turn around and bring home boyhood Benfiquista back home to coach their team.
He did. I just got a notification from Fabrizio Romano who said it was Ruben Amorim in an interview saying, "I will not quit. If you want to, if they can fire me, they can do it without paying my compensation." I'm like, I've heard that one before. I think I heard it a few years ago.
Yeah,
he'd be like leaving like probably like 30 million on the table more. Like, okay, dude.
Does that mean his assistants won't get compensation either? Like, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, "Bro,
Yo,
what are you saying, man?"
yeah. I'm still not used to seeing Manuel Ferro in a European final. I'm not.
Yeah,
gonna lie.
it's just crazy every time you catch a glimpse of him on the bench.
Yeah,
it was like seeing the former Toronto and like Red Bull manager sometimes on the menu bench. You're like,
yeah.
bro, how is he there?
Yeah.
Armas, right?
No, yeah, is it? Yeah, Chris Armas. There you go. Yeah.
It's like,
crazy.
wow, Emmanuel Ferro on the big stage. It's always pleasant to see that like kind of chubby dude though. I'm like, this guy.
I like him
on the big
I forget his
stage.
name.
Good for
Even
him.
Carlos
Fernandez, on the big stage. Good for him. Ferro
is like, what the
this
fuck?
guy is just here. Wow, I can't believe it.
Facts.
But they all get winners medals, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, they do. Yeah,
congrats, lads.
But so does João Pereira. Let's
Thanks.
not forget. So João Pereira has as many Portuguese league titles as.
True. They better start getting printing medals because they're gonna need him and his entire technical staff, and João Pereira and his entire technical
Does
staff.
João Pereira put that on the CV?
Yes.
Because did he not? Did he get relegated with the Turkish team, or they?
He kept, I think he kept them up. There might be like another game.
I don't think it's over.
Look at him go. He kept them up and a league title. That's crazy.
And a promotion with the B team as well.
And holy fuck, bro.
I think that he's gonna get a shot.
He genuinely could get relegated, win a title, and get promoted all in the same season. Like, that is crazy.
He's a man who's lived many lives.
That's crazy. Yeah, maybe he'll get a shot at like Dinamo Moscow next.
Okay.
Nah, man, Saudi's got to be the way to go for him. Surely there's got to be an opening for him in Saudi.
Like the second division, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. China, something like that.
China, yeah. Learn Chinese, buddy.
Facts. I forgot to do this in the intro, so I'll do it now. Yeah, there you go.
Low key, I mean, I'm sick, or else I'd be drinking with you right now, man. I had a super buck in the fridge and everything, but.
Yeah, I guess the Turkish league isn't over yet, from what I can tell.
It's only a Budweiser, to be fair. After Sunday,
mate. He's up by 3 points though on the drop zone, so he's on the right track.
Okay.
After Sunday or Saturday, I couldn't even look at a beer. I was not in a good place.
Sometimes that happens, and then you're back. But
but sometimes all you need is just a sip of beer because that's your body asking for more.
True.
I don't know if they call it in there. They call it hair of the dog in the UK.
Yeah, and I've heard that one. Yeah.
In Canada, we call it alcoholism, but
that's a good point. I mean, I remember the first half a lot. Unfortunately, I missed the second goal. I was in the toilet, man. I heard everyone screaming. Quickly wash my hands, come out. I'm like hugging some random stranger. Like, yeah, let's go. But he probably needs a piss as well, so I let go of him very quickly.
Did you wash your hands?
Yeah, of course, man. I was just finishing. I pressed the button and then I heard them score. I was like, oh shit, I run out. But yeah, I thought like Chris said, we were all over them. There was no goal threat. I mean, they have a 36-year-old Nelson Oliveira up front. It's like, let's be honest, man, it's not going to go too well. And they were missing Thomas Andel and I think Felipe Elvas as well, two of their best players. So. I mean, it's always going to be difficult for them. But at the same time, we didn't have Hjulmand. And that was really scary for me going in because I love Morita and he's been a great servant for the club. This last season, though, he's been off it. He's been...
He's had a weird season, injuries as well.
Yeah, I would say arguably he's been one of our worst players this season. And we've not had many, luckily, but I think he's got to be up there. Of course, as Guy was always there, you can never rule him out. But I mean, Morita has just not been fit enough. He's had I say controversy. A lot of sporting fans turned against him because he went to go to Japan whilst he was injured, and then there was that whole debacle. But I don't know, man. I was nervous, but Morita, I thought was fantastic in this game. He did really well. I thought he back to his old self until he got subbed off, of course. But I mean, I thought most of the team played well. I agree with Daniel. I thought Maxi was fantastic too. That Pedro Gonzalez finish, to be honest, I thought it went wide, but I was very glad it was top corner. A great finish. And he sort of looks back to his former self as well. Still not fully fit, you can tell, but definitely improved this game than the last few. Rui Silva as well. He didn't have much to do, man, but I just love every time he gets the ball and we can all just shout Rui. I mean, I missed it with Patricio when he was here. Now we've got another Rui, arguably a better Rui.
Exactly.
A Rui who can actually win a league title, unlike the former. But yeah, man, it was a great performance. I do agree that Jenny was pissing me off, and he has done in the last. It feels like the last 4 games in a row. He's just been trying to take a guy on, fail, try and take a guy on, do the same thing every single play, fail, and then it's just the same old. So I don't know, man. And also Trincao, man, I cannot wait for that guy to get a rest. He is so tired. He is dead. He's played, I think it's like 4,500 minutes. Like, that's crazy. Crazy.
He definitely has the most minutes of the squad, I would say.
Well, he's got another
center backs.
Another 120, buddy. Rest up.
120 is crazy.
But yeah, man. And then not really this game, because I thought Eduardo Quaresma was very poor. The first few minutes, man, he was passing the ball out of play. Like, I felt like every second.
I was nervous.
But overall this season, man, what a player he's been. Considering where he was not this time last year, but the start of last season, where we were like, man, he's never going to mature enough. He's never going to be a starter. And then to come in and be a solid member of a back three, and arguably, in my opinion, one of the best. I think Inacio has been fantastic this season as well. I think Inacio has probably been our best centre back all year round, but Eduardo Quaresma has also been fantastic as well.
On Quaresma, really quick, I seen something, I forget where. I think it was with Jeirinhas, like one of the celebrations after like they won the league and everything like that. He said that how crazy is it that Gyökeres scored all these goals, but goal of the season is probably going to Eduardo Quaresma.
Facts. What a finish, man.
Yeah. And probably the most important goal to win us this league, really.
That's what Rui Silva said as well.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, facts. The only other thing I want to mention about this game is how many former Sporting players I recognised on the team. Bruno Gaspar, man, like that was a throwback. I know he's been playing all right for Guimarães, but even like
Whitecap legend.
But like Marco Cruz was a Sporting player at some point. I think Vando Felix was a Sporting player at some point, unless I'm being mistaken with someone else. But
no, he is.
I think you're right.
He was on the B team.
Yeah.
We bought him from like Les Choins or something like that. Like I remember it was like 500K or something.
We just signed a new Vando Felix. Actually, his name is that Allison guy from.
Yeah, true. But he's a lot more expensive than just fucking 500K.
Yeah, but inflation, man.
True.
And they had Donald Trump at right back as well.
Yeah.
Couldn't get it done, man.
MAGA.
I wonder when he picked his nickname like years ago. Actually, Donald Trump's been around for this. I don't know, actually.
Maybe it's the Liberal.
We need to see. I know Portugal just had elections. We need to see who he voted for, because I feel like with a nickname like MAGA, because I think his name is Magalhães. With a nickname like MAGA, he for sure voted for Chega, you know?
Facts. Yeah, I don't really have much else in this game if you guys don't.
Nothing.
Cool. I guess we'll go on to some other things. We've got some... Yeah, so we'll go into some of the interview quotes we had. And you mentioned the Eduardo Quaresma, and there's quite a few. One that came today was from our boy Trincao, who said he was going to stay. There's been rumors that he's been linked to Man United, he's been linked to Arsenal, Man City, but he said he's going to stay. Obviously, I don't think you could take a player's word for it in concrete, especially these days.
He said this after 16 beers.
Facts. But you never know.
But he still said it, I guess.
I don't think he'll leave. I mean, if it's United, bro, like you're better off staying here. Also, Trincao, one, he hard launched his girlfriend, must be mentioned.
Did Gyökeres too? Kind of.
No, but they've been like They've
Yeah,
been known
but
to
bro,
be-
you don't bring her to the title party if that's just
That's
like your
true.
boo thing or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But now they've been together for at least 2 years now. But Trincão had the funniest. If Trincão could have did what I did, and we would have believed him. They also be. You know, he could have done that.
Him and Franco Israel, man.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity.
There was
boys,
a
if you
lot
ask
of
me.
kissing, and it was awesome.
And it was a lot of kissing, and it was all Israel and Trincão.
Paul Yoker has also shared a passionate kiss as well.
Yeah.
I saw there was something the other day about Trincão DMing a girl on Instagram, and she was quite happy about it. And then, then this happens days after.
I've seen that.
Interesting timing is all I'm going to say. There's a few others we'll get to as well. We'll get onto the kit a bit later as well. Pedro Gonçalves says that he started crying when Amorim left. He didn't tell him not to go, but wished him luck. So he was like a father to him, but they understood. I was going to ask you guys, obviously we'll get to the main quotes later. Do you think the players did turn a little bit on Amorim? Because we got the quotes from Pedro Gonçalves straight after the game and Eduardo Quaresma. Do you think there's a little resentment there, or do you think it was just like tongue-in-cheek banter?
I maybe a little bit of both. On that same interview with that quote, because I was just watching a little bit of it today.
Mm-hmm.
They asked him if there was like any sort of like remorse or were players upset, or angry at Amorim, and he said no. If anything, we were more like saddened by the news, but we understood. We let him go. But yeah, my brother even DM'd me the same thing when Quaresma said, I forget what he said now about Amorim going. Like, we have a new one now, and he sent them a message. Yeah, there we go.
Hello, Mister. Wish you were here, but now you have someone else. Cheers.
Yeah. So it could be tongue in cheek, but maybe there's a little shot there. Who knows? Especially
like,
given how shit United are.
We did it in the end, and you did not do it in the end.
Exactly.
Well, Dude's always known as like a bit of a jokester anyway. So I feel like his one is, tongue-in-cheek. Pedro Gonçalves' one was a bit, I don't know, man. It just seemed a bit strange. It was just like, Swear turned up to sport. He's like, yeah, like Amorim said, he said things and regretted them. Maybe it's a little.
What's he alluding to there, though? I forget now.
I think it was it the mic drop moment? Is that because he did that as well, of course. Pedro
He did that one. Yeah, that one I know. But yeah, maybe. Or maybe Amorim said he was going to stay one more season or some shit. I don't know.
Well, he said he was going to stay to be back-to-back champion, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. So,
just a few interesting things as well. I will say I was very impressed with the speech from Frederico Varane, the sporting president. I think he said all the right things. Even, about Benfica, I feel like he said the right thing. He's going to be, if he wins on Sunday, he's going to be the most successful president in terms of trophies in the club's history. And I do think that is crazy considering where he was when he first started. And I think all three of us will have to hold our hands up and say, you know what, man, fair enough. You proved us wrong.
He's gotten better.
100%.
Better.
He proved us wrong. João Pedro was a mistake and he realized it, maybe arguably a bit too late. But at the end of the day, it wasn't his favor getting someone in like Rui Borges, who I know still has a lot of haters, a lot of doubters.
I guess one way to put it is like a lot of the decisions that he made at first really didn't go his way.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the critical decisions that he made started going his way, including some of the more important ones. Most expensive manager, biggest signing, second biggest signing. You can afford to miss some things if you hit on those things, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think there is something to be said that maybe when he first came in, obviously the club was in turmoil. He mentions it in his speech that the Alcochete tax just happened. We lost a lot of money on players, and he was a doctor, really, no experience of running a club, and he got some things wrong, and he did get them quite wrong. And I think at the time the criticism was justified, but now he's turned it around. I'll hold my hands up and say, you were right. He is going to be, I assume is going to be the most successful president.
Most people in his position would be like a legend, have a cult following around them.
Yeah.
anything really. He just really doesn't. And I don't know if it's because he himself is like uncool or whatever, and like not funny in like interviews or not charismatic enough, or exactly what it is. But yeah, it is kind of odd when you think about it. As Sam mentioned, he has a chance to become the winningest president in the club history. And if he doesn't, he's still up there, right? It's still been a crazy run considering where the run even started from. He dropped a fourth place in there. It's not like he didn't have his own share of turmoil that he completely put himself into and not just inherited or whatever.
Exactly. I think that's the main thing.
But he did. It did work out. Things worked out. A lot of decisions worked out. COVID happening completely killed any protest movement against him right at the perfect time. A lot of insane things worked out. And that's honestly what things come down to, right? Like the title this season came down to like Benfica not scoring on us when we parked the bus and just completely surrendered, and it worked out. It could have easily just not worked out. Like it's just like a razor's edge, and I don't know, it feels like a lot of stuff has been going our way in a way that it hasn't for decades.
Yeah,
it is right now, so relish it, but at the same time understand that like there's such fine margins, and it is remarkable. Sam's right, like he has, he's earned my respect in a way. I don't regret anything I've said about him in the past, but he certainly earned my respect and compliments for his competent leadership.
Yeah. I think one of the turning points, if I can take over just slightly a bit. So backstory here: in 2019, me and Chris went to the Yankee Stadium to watch Sporting take on Liverpool. I believe it was 2019, maybe 2018.
It was 19. I think you're right. Yeah,
2019. And I wasn't at the event, but Chris was at the event. Chris had told me that Varandas at the time, he was going up to some people, acting big shit, like, yeah, I'm the president of this club, blah, blah, blah. I think what had happened was he finally used that game enough and found himself a Swedish woman, excuse me. As you see in the celebrations, he's rocking the Swedish flag. He found himself Gyökeres, which was important to these last two. Of course, maybe not important for the first one, of course, because he wasn't here. But I think what turned Varandas around really was the country of Sweden. And I think it all stems from him spitting game in 2019 saying, baby, I'm the president of Sporting Wagwan. Like, you know what I mean? So that's where I think the turnaround came. But in more serious, yeah, I agree. He's definitely grown into a president. I'm not in love. I'm not in love with him at all yet, even though we should be. But I think a lot of that has to do with sometimes he'll never take accountability. It's as if the João Pereira hiring was part of the plan. It was part of a plan to have a coach almost ruin something for a month, just to bring in another coach that I've been watching
maybe
for
if he
a
was
year.
a little bit more charismatic, he could kind of sell that lie a little bit better, perhaps.
I agree. Or even just to be upfront, like, listen, sometimes decisions are made, and I got this one wrong, but look at how I rectified it.
He really doesn't
I would respect
ever
you a lot
say that
more.
either, and it is, yeah.
I think that's the frustrating part, because it's like he sort of like takes the fans' complaints like you idiots, look what I'm really doing here. Like a lot of it is part of the plan. Like you know what I mean? It's just, that's what I'm not a big fan of. And even on this speech, the only thing I wasn't a big fan of was maybe talking about how great of a structure it is. We had 3 managers and still won the league, as if that's something to boast about. You had 3 managers because you fucked up on one of them. But I digress. On this particular speech, this is easily Varandas' best speech. Finally, the man took some public speaking classes, which I'm glad, because he was silent for a few years, and we're glad he took that time apart that he needed. And he's come back better. I'm a big fan, like Sam said. He even bigged up the rivals. We're not supposed to inspire them like he has done in the past, especially with Porto. So I want to see him, like, maybe if next year, let's say if it's a 2-horse race between us and Porto, or even if it's a 3-horse race and Porto put up a good fight, and hopefully we're still.
How long until Viana gets into a scuffle? at Man City. Like a lot of those Porto incidents.
The thing is, he's gonna be
Jonathan
sitting
was
in the
always
stands.
nearby. He was
Yeah,
always
he
nearby, man.
Yeah, but we'll see. Yeah, it's not both two new like directions, so maybe it's different. So yeah, big up Varandas for the Benfica comment. Big up our fans because it was also necessary too. Because as soon as he finished, you hear in the background SLB, filhas da puta, SLB, and that was very necessary as well at that time. So just wanted to make that clear too. But yeah, big up Varandas. He has a very. I feel like we're always saying this, but he does have a very important summer ahead of him because now it's truly no Ruben Amorim. It's no Viana. I like some of the signings we already done. Again, the Allison kid has to be proven. The Georgian guy looks like a real stud. I'm curious to see how much we're going to commit to 4-4-2. I'm imagining we are, right? But big summer ahead for him. And I think
You're locked into Borges now, even though
for an extra year.
But does that really matter? That doesn't matter.
You could just shit can him, but again, it'll be part of the plan. Like, yeah, I meant to keep him for 3 months,
Exactly, and get Ian Gathru in and us winning the league.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
I guess how much is Rui Borges going to be on for 2 years? Because I guess that is the severance that you have to pay, I suppose, to him leaving. But I guess let's not talk about that before anything else happens. The last two things I want to say on Varandas, I think one thing I do respect is that I feel like he could go on and say almost like I told you so to a lot of the people, and he hasn't done that. To be fair, he's been quite humble in the celebrations. He, like Danny said about the three managers thing, isn't necessarily a good thing to say, but I think I understand his point of view why he's saying that at this time, because it was a chaotic season from Amorim leaving. I think all of us were like, man, we could bottle this season now, because Amorim was such a big part of the club structure and how well we played and stuff like that. And obviously João Pereira came in and it was bad. No one's gonna deny it's bad. He took a risk and it didn't pay off. And like you said, maybe he could say stuff like that, but in his defense, do any of the Portuguese presidents or any president in football ever say, you know what, hands up, we got it wrong? It's not a very common thing to see. I just feel like that's, I would potentially like him to say that as well, but I just don't see it happening in football. They've always got to stick to their guns. And even when he wanted to sack when we wanted him sacked, he said, I'm only going to do things the way I want to do them, which, rub us the wrong way, rub some people the wrong way. But bringing Rui Borges, I think we haven't really mentioned him. He deserves a ton of credit for what he's been able to do. Unbeaten in the league, it must be said. There were some points that he definitely did drop, and he's not perfect. He's not a perfect coach. I think everyone can say that.
Yeah, but neither was Amorim, by the way.
Facts, agreed. But the scrutiny Rui Borges got from the media as well. He was called a flop within 2 months.
Still getting it. I seen a quote today about Sofia Oliveira talking about. I forget what she said now, but still today.
Yes, still he gets so much criticism, and then there's people that always downplay the achievements. Oh, he only won because Ruben Amorim got so many points. So he only won because Benfica and Porto weren't so good. But he came into a team that was dejected. They did not want to play after losing to Moreirense Santa Clara, drawing to Gil Vicente, getting battered by Arsenal 5-1. That was a team that did not want to play. And the way Rui Borges was able to come in, stabilize the team. There was a time where Gyökeres didn't score from open play in, I think, a month. And he turned Gyökeres back into a goal-scoring machine, which people say, Gyökeres is Gyökeres. But what we saw from him against, Santa Clara, Gil Vicente, Moreirense, back in the João Pereira days, it was not the Gyökeres we're seeing now. And he managed to pick up a team that was so low on confidence, and he managed to turn them into not only back-to-back champions, but potentially winning the double as well. Like Real Fresca, he came 3 days before a derby when we were second and beat Benfica. Yeah. And he, didn't lose to Porto as well. Champions League, fair enough. He didn't win that. I don't think he won a game. But in terms of the league, which was the main priority to win the league, he came in, stabilized the team. he's not a perfect coach. And I think replacing Amorim was always going to be a difficult job because as much as Amorim wasn't perfect for Sporting, I think he's obviously a once-in-a-lifetime manager that we're going to see in our lifetime. He was able to win 2 league titles in a team that didn't win one for 19 years. Ruben Amorim is, for all his faults, especially now at Manchester United, he is a once-in-a-lifetime manager. Replacing that and how the structure was so perfect for Ruben Amorim and Rui Borges coming in as well, I think Rui Borges got to have so much credit in what he's done. And Randa said it as well. The leadership, the skills, what he's been able to do, I think is fantastic.
Who do you think was responsible for the signing of Rui Silva, considering that Hugo Viana is completely tapped out of his job and was just no-showing? And then they were like, all right, bro, get the fuck out of here. Just go to Manchester now.
I low-key... sorry.
No, so I'm just like, I don't think it was him. So, I mean...
Yeah. I low-key think...
scouting head.
I think he was definitely on a short list. But Rui Borges must have come in there and said, get me a keeper right now. Because Israel didn't even play cup games. Israel played 2 more Champions League games for the league phase because we couldn't play Rui Silva, and then he never touched the pitch again. So I would say Rui Borges had something to play. I don't know if he picked Rui Silva specifically, but he definitely had.
Well, whoever picked him, nice fucking work.
Nice, yeah, good shout. If I could really quick add on to Rui Borges, Sam, because I agree everything with what you said too. Man's not perfect, of course he's not. He came in, played a system, and we mentioned Benfica. If we really think about it, that of course we had to win every other game that we won, of course. But that game against Benfica, that 1-0 win 3 days after he came in, was probably the game that won us the league. If we tied on points, that would have been the game breaker. We finished 2 points ahead, mainly because of that game there, first and foremost. So that was crucial. He came in at the right time. So maybe credit to Varandas there. Maybe I'm being harsh. Credit there. He came in, played a system, wasn't working. And I think another reason why we changed the system, of course, we didn't have the right personalities, but we had 0 midfielders for how many months? We like you mentioned, we didn't have Gyökeres. We played harder a lot up front, and we seen how loose of a cannon harder is. We lost Morita. We lost Human for a few weeks. The Bast, who was a player who we liked, we weren't in love with him at center back. We liked him. We love him at midfielder right now. I think aside from Human, this season he was our second best midfielder. Bragança tore his ACL. Simões came in, was balling, injury. Felicissimo, injury. Brito, we're not going to talk about him because he pulled the Benfica thing, but it's just incredible what he had to work with, and he integrated kids. You're on mute.
Sorry, I was saying Rui Borges was in the lab late night studying 3-5-2.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I have to do this.
I have to. I have way too many center backs to play my 4-4-2 first and foremost. I don't have enough strikers to play the 4-4-2, and like I said, he adapted well. He made players look better than what they did under Amorim. Maxi was not this good under Amorim. The Bast again was not this good under Amorim.
I thought St. Just was dumb, but St. Just is back.
St. Just probably played more games under Rui Borges than he had the 3 years under Amorim.
After the own goal incident, I actually thought I thought he was good. Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of credit needs to go to Rui Borges. If this is dare I say, if this is Benfica, if this is Porto, the country knows. The country's saying he's a great manager. The next Mourinho, he wasn't a great player, but he's a blah blah blah. But because it's from Sporting, in my opinion, because sometimes the tactics aren't perfect.
He's not getting sucked off enough. He deserves.
Yeah, he's not. Because we may give up a bit more possession than we were used to under Amorim. Cool, I get that point. But at the same time, the XG that we're coming up against is like normally not doesn't hit 1. Yeah, exactly.
Guys, how many points did we drop? Not because of Rui Borges, but because Diamande wants to be an idiot and foul in the box. Hjulmand wants to be an idiot and give away a penalty. There were so many games, and like I said, he's not perfect. There were some games that definitely I look at Rui Borges and like, you could have made subs, you could have changed something.
Yeah.
But there were so many games that individual errors cost us so much. that game, I can't remember if we won or draw. When St. Just scored their own goal from really Silver technically scored their own goal from 40 yards out. How are you blaming Rui Borges?
Dude, that shit was
That?
something you would see in like the division, not even that I play in Sunday League, the lower divisions.
Facts.
Yeah. Just how many individual errors cost us points? Yeah. And I know it's easy to say that, but so many things were out of his control. You mentioned the injuries as well. The whole starting 11, you can go through them. Apart from Trincao, I think every single one of them had an injury.
And even Trincao broke his hand, and he just happened to still be playing.
Yeah, they're like, all right, you gotta play than the others, so get back out there.
You know what I mean? That's insane. He wasn't subbed off that game, bro. They put a cast on him at halftime and said, "Get out there, bud. We need you." That's insane.
All three starting centre backs injured. Morita, of course, injured the whole season. Hjulmand missed a few games with injury. You mentioned Simoes and Bragança obviously out for the season. Nuno Santos, of course, out for the season. Jenny was out for a month. Gyökeres was out for, I think, 3 weeks.
Rui has never even coached Nuno Santos, I feel like, right?
No, he's not. No.
Yeah.
No. He got injured under Mourinho.
And then probably our best player, you can maybe make the argument of Gyökeres. I'm always going to say our best player is Pot. He's gone for a whole half of the season.
Honestly, probably like 2/3 of it, I feel like.
Yeah,
it was so long.
Yeah.
And even now, he's not Pedro Gonçalves.
He's still not 100%. Exactly. Yeah.
He's showed flashes. And honestly, I think he should start in the final, too.
Oh, 100%.
Keep riding the wave.
100%.
Yeah, I agree.
Next week or this week.
I know every team has injuries, but the amount we had, and especially it felt like one after, it wasn't like, we started the season, had a few injuries. It was literally one game injury, Dortmund injury, and then the game after Dortmund where I think Simoes injured himself against Porto, and then Bragança tore his ACL, and it's just like, how many more? How much more can we deal with?
Even Rui Borges had that like little video or GIF or whatever it was where somebody goes down and he's like, for this, like another one, like it was insane, that like run of months of just injury after injury after injury. Insane.
Yeah, but
Andrews also deserves credit for not getting hurt as much, I say, because recently he's been hurt less. He obviously still got hurt like 4 times, but it was less than last time.
Well, when he scored that own goal, he was allegedly hurt. He was back within like a week or two. I feel like he wasn't out for that long.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that long.
But no. Before we get into obviously new kits, we do have the predictions to look at. Let's have a look. So, match day 34.
I had a massive comeback this week.
I tanked to close out the season.
There's still one more game to go, man. Still one more game. So Danny went for a 5-1. 3 points, getting a Gyökeres and the Pedro Gonçalves goal, and of course the win. Richard goes with a 2-1 with the Gyökeres goal, gets a point. I also went with Gyökeres. I went with Kenner and Trincao, 3-1. Unfortunately, Chris didn't put any predictions in. But here's how the league table is looking right now. Danny, Chris in third with 59, Danny in third with 62, I'm in second with 64, and Richard had this one by like January. So we can just skip that. But I guess we can put our predictions in for the game, which we will be live streaming our reactions to on Sunday, which is the final versus Benfica. Richard has already put his predictions in 2-1 after extra time. Gyökeres and Pot. Chris, I'll go with you first. What are your predictions on this game?
3-3 after extra time.
That's crazy. Chris wants me to die of a fucking heart attack. God damn, bro.
3-3 after extra time. Sporting wins in pens.
I like that.
Bree Silva saves every pen that we win 3-0 in this video.
I like that. And then he scores the last one too.
Goal scorers.
Goal scorers. My goal scorers are Thick Vic.
Facts.
Pot. And Hjulmand outside the box. Finally, he's gonna. I mean, he's hit already a few, but like it's been a while, and he's come close, but it's coming. It's coming. He's playing, and it's coming.
Go on, Danny. What's your predictions?
I'm stuck between a 1-1 and we win in pens, or a 1-0. So for my heart, I'm gonna say a 1-0 because we don't have. We also, since we're live streaming, we don't have good luck on pens live stream.
0 for 1.
No. Well, actually, I've live streamed before too, and I live
Wait,
streamed.
did we live stream a game before?
No, I did it. I did it on my own. I just remembered that.
Oh.
And we lost. So I'm hoping not to for the PTSD.
This is it.
And the
that'll be a nice story for Trincao to win the final.
By the way, what time is the game? Sunday at noon or something like that?
That's a good point.
It's 5. Yeah, it's 5 my time. 5:30
so
my time.
Yeah. Okay.
My goal scorer will be Pot.
Yeah, 5 my time.
Yeah, 12:15 actually.
Okay.
So 5:15. Yeah.
12 is when they fly the ball out to the pitch on a drone and do some other
facts or whatever the fuck they do this year.
I think I agree with you, Dan. I think it's going to be a 1-1 though. It wasn't working.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's either one or the other, bro.
1-1.
Damn,
we've had mixed results in the Taça de Portugal final. I'll be honest.
Yeah. Especially recently, bro. We haven't won one since 2019, right? 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
2018, we lost it. Yeah.
And that was probably the one that we should have lost the most out of all of them.
I'll go with the nasty with the goal. I was gonna go Jenny, but I feel like that's just too obvious. I feel like Jenny.
You think Jenny's gonna get the
I think the luck
outside the box?
I think the luck's run out for Jenny, man. I'll go with Inacio. I feel like Inacio from a corner. I know 1-1 and Sporting on pens. We know that. I wouldn't bet him if he could win. But yeah, that is the predictions. We do have some new kits. Well, one new kit, and I will say one of the nicest ones I think we've had under Nike in terms of a home kit. I also did like the marketing. I thought it was very clever of what they did. Very unorthodox as well. But here is the new kit for the season.
They couldn't have worn it in the last like that would have been too much. The game was too. You can only do that when you've already clinched or you're playing for nothing.
Yeah, I assume they're gonna wear it on
I
Sunday.
think so too. If I'm not mistaken, they've done that. They've done they wore because I know they wore this year's home kit last year, but I just can't remember if it was the last league game which we already won or if it was
it was the last league game because they took the trophy pictures on this season's kit. I remember seeing it back then. But I think
we were in the Taça final last year, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That back is empty.
Yeah, I don't like but at the same time, I think with the lines it would have been weird at the back too with the player number.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's just one more line or two.
Yeah, it is part of the regulation as well.
Yeah,
if you ever name a number, for example, 47 as guy, I mean, I reckon it looks.
But if you're really committed to it, you can make a league one and a Europe one maybe because they might not have the exact same regulations, but they might also.
Also, if let me call you right now. If you also get this kit and have Gyökeres 9 on the back, you're a bozo. There's no way he's playing after this game in this kit.
But he will play the Taça of the Portugal final.
I guess you're
and
right.
if he scores, even better.
I guess.
Yeah, that'll actually look quite good with the name on it.
It would, yeah.
Should I get my own name on a kit for the first time in 15 years?
I don't mind
Chris,
that. I don't mind that.
Can you get your Twitter handle on the back of it, please? If I need to see the big Chris.
I don't even know if you can do the @ sign.
Maybe. Yeah, they might not have that thing there.
Maybe. I could just do the big Chris 69.
Yeah. Rankings out of 10. What would you give the new kit?
I'm giving it a solid 8.5. I like it how it's worn. I've seen
good. I'm gonna go 8. Nice. Yeah. The Betanu fits nicely. Obviously, stripes on the sleeves is not something we get that often these days. We got it once from Macron, got it once or twice from Puma. We got it from Reebok. So it's happened.
Sorry.
It's happened before, but it's not that frequent. So enjoy it while it does happen. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Sometimes simple is good, though.
Sometimes simple is good, yeah. Simplicity is the best.
Yeah. It looks like a kit that would just go so hard on the beach this summer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just looks like
it gives beach vibes. Yeah.
It really does fit. I don't know. Maybe, for some reason. It's just
and you did watch us win the league on
the beach. Yeah.
League campeón fucking reassured right now.
It's going to look nice with an escudo. It's going to look nice with the gold.
I like it with an escudo.
I might have to go with Skulu. I got the gold patch last time and the one before, so on the black one. So maybe I'll go with Skulu this time. Obviously, because Lojavert has these options now. Thank you, President Dr. Fernandez.
Shout out Fernandez.
Only took like 6 years. You can finally pay your quotas online. These things may have become commonplace by 2016 in most places, but we got there eventually. App coming 2035.
Yeah. app coming.
But you know what? We're thanking what we do have. So I'm gonna order that kit with an Ishkugu on it. Name to be determined, possibly my own. 8 out of 10.
I say if you get your own name at the back, you have to full kit wank it and get the shorts and the socks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I already have the 2 pairs of black Nike shorts, and they're kind of interchangeable in that way. So
yeah, that's true. Actually,
we're good. We're good. I can definitely be a full kit wanker.
Oh, but you know what? I can see ruining this kit if we have white shorts. I think that ruins this kit.
They're already black. I saw them on the website.
Okay, thank God. Whew.
We might wear white once or twice, as we did this season.
Yeah.
Which is honestly a nice treat when it does happen. But yes, black, the primary. Okay. It's gonna look great. Cool. It's gonna look great.
I agree.
Yeah, facts. I give it a 9. The only thing that would have made it a 10 for me is a black collar. I think the back is annoying, but like I said, I think if you've got the name and play on the back, it looks just completely fine, like a normal shirt.
Hopefully, you get a good font, right? We've had some good fonts the last couple years.
Yeah,
like the medieval one I really liked. Even the one from this past season, more rounded, still liked it. Hopefully, we get a good font. We keep that streak going. But for sure, I'm also thinking I'm guessing the lettering will probably be black. So the black accent of the Superbach and the nameplate, you probably could have done the collar, but you know what? I'm all right with it.
Yeah. Facts. Also, congratulations is due to Pedro Gonçalves, Pedro Porro, should I say, the former Sporting player, to win the Europa League today against Manchester United. A very, I would say, quite boring game up until maybe the last.
He's filling up the trophy cabinet, man.
And low key, he was probably Tottenham's best player in my opinion. He had he had Mason Mount cooked all game, and the other guy, what's his name, Dorgu, couldn't get past him either. Those guys are bums though. And then Garnacho maybe got past him once or twice, but
bad.
He locked up Garnacho really well too. Yeah, no, that United team is horrible, Chris. That team
it did feel like Garnacho beat him twice, and then it was just
and he had one good shot on him.
again.
Yeah, and never again.
But I was like, Garnacho
he understood it after that,
Yeah, I know, but Diallo was not doing a single thing. Every time he got the ball, it was they lose it. I was like, Garnacho is beating Pedro Porro 3 times. Delivery is not there, but
I
digress. Yeah. But of course, that means Ruben Amorim loses in the final. Pedro Porro, of course.
One of them had to save the season, and one of them had to be a fish. What a bad season. So he's not the one who gets to say, "Oh, we saved the season."
Yeah,
back on the hot seat. Turn the burner back up.
Yeah, it's super high now too.
Yeah.
Also, I read that Gyökeres was. I read a few days ago. Gyökeres really wants to only go to United for Amorim. And then I read today, it's but now he doesn't want it because of no Champions League.
His current club's in it, though.
So maybe one more year, see if United can get Champions League, and then maybe go.
He's just waiting. Amorim's not going to be there by next.
Yeah, that's true.
Or the one after,
bro. Or remember the first year we lost against Lask. We had no more European competition, and then we won the league.
United's winning the league.
Is this United's last moment?
I mean, if they do well in the market, man, you never know. We put in Pedro Gonçalves, Nuno Santos on 20 million, I think.
They just got Matheus Cunha, or pretty much they're about to get Matheus Cunha. They might get Liam Delap. That's not bad. Better than Højlund.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's an improvement slightly.
They'll need a goalkeeper. They'll need they need everything. They need Jesus at this point. But bookies, what are the odds? I might take $100 on that. Maybe.
That would pay.
Nothing more than 100, bro. Maybe 50.
Facts. There is a tweet from Goldpoint as well. Last four finals, the consecutive four finals from Amorim. A loss in the Europa League final, loss in the Super Cup, loss in the Test of Portugal, and loss in the Super Cup again. So, I mean, not worked that well for him, man. Not a big game manager, I suppose.
Wow, I hate how many times we've lost to Porto, bro. That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's bad. Especially the Super Taça just gone as well. That one was
this one was a wasted. This one was more us than him, to be fair, like the players, but
yeah, that one did sting. Before we head off, we should mention there has been some relegations. Of course, Boavista, unfortunately, in my opinion, going down. I do like Boavista as the
both of them are. Both of them is sad, man. Both of them are historic clubs, Boavista and Fluminense.
Yeah, Fluminense is a relatively recent addition to the first division. I mean, not historically. I'm just talking modern history.
Modern, yeah.
So they're Leões Faro, right? They were historically whatchamacallit? It's not a nuclear,
an affiliate.
Yeah, they were they were an affiliate of Sporting early on. So I always kind of liked them. Ryan Gold. They had beautiful Adidas kits. They have
somebody right now.
Now they have nice Lacatoni kits. So I always kind of fucked with them. It's sad. It's sad. Hopefully they come back.
Yeah.
Especially when they have a fucking fake ass club like AVS that gets.
That's what I was gonna say. It's the fact that AVS stayed, bro. I was hoping this whole time because I was screen watching or on Sport TV. It was like the scores on the bottom and then where everybody lined up for like relegation in Europe. I was hoping that Fluminense can at least tie it up 2-2 or something so that they can at least go to the playoff and Santa Clara still goes to conference because Guimarães fans are talking too much shit about who he bought, right?
Fact.
But it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah. And the Friends, I feel like a yo-yo team at the moment. I feel like they've been up and down the last few years.
And with Boavista, I'm scared that they might cease to exist. Like, what does this do for the club financially? They're already like
can't be good.
A million restrictions there, right? Like,
can't be good, man.
No,
I did think
we could have a new beta mod on our hands.
I thought they were going to save it last day, and then
I thought so too.
2 minutes in, I saw the scoreline. It was like 2-0. I think they played a rook away, and I was like, okay, no.
They just gave away a free goal. Bozanic scored. They brought it back.
Yeah. I thought they were at least going to steal a result against Porto 2 weeks ago too.
Close, man.
It wasn't meant to be.
What was annoying about Fluminense? Of course, they just beat Vitória Guimarães the game before, and they 3 out of their last 6 they managed to win as well, not just draw but win.
Yeah.
So quite unlucky. Level on points at the AVS as well, man.
I'm happy Estrela got to stay. I wish Nacional was going down, those fucking bastards. But who does Tondela? Next year we have Tondela and Nacional back in the Primeira Liga. That's going to be a headache.
Back with a vengeance, man, and maybe a new face as well.
Yeah.
Well, and we will get a new face. Alverca's in because that's a new face. But
Vizela who does Av's face?
Vizela.
Yeah, I don't mind Vizela. I'll root for Vizela in that case.
For sure. Yeah.
They're annoying though too, but they've been up in modern history.
In fact, Ferrer going to the relegation playoffs in League 2 as well.
Maybe not, but that'd be cool if they did.
Yeah,
Mauricio quite far down as well. I didn't expect them to be this low.
NFL really fucking. Dude, there was like so many weeks of the season where it looked like it was like, wow, this is finally the year for Penafiel. Finally getting back after like 15 years. And in the end, they fucking finished right where they always do. How do you go from like first for 2 months to 6th or 11th? Like, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Facts. And we mentioned earlier, Sporting B did get promoted to the second division as well, which is good. Some more experience for the lone players. Obviously, a very tough division is the second division. And we shall see. We shall see what goes on. I don't think there's anything else unless you guys have got anything else to add.
Nada.
We go again Sunday.
We will be live streaming.
Autopsy of it all.
Live streaming, of course, initial game reactions as well. We should be maybe about 20 minutes before the game so we get set up and stuff. Just as a note, we will not be showing the match. We'll be doing our reactions to it. So if you're
we will be watching it on the official feed, though, so we should be as close to real time as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be on RTP. So
no spoilers in the chat if we are behind, and I will be streaming on a Russian site, so we'll
It
be
worked
streaming
out
the game there.
perfectly fine last time. Like vibes are good. No one was spoiling. It was great.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, make sure you follow us on Twitter to keep up to date when that goes live, and of course subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn notifications on, all that good stuff, and follow us on all podcast platforms as well. Most importantly, make sure you follow Richard there. You can follow myself there. You can follow Danny there, Chris there, and again, make sure you follow us on all things on all social media and podcast platforms. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you Sunday. Peace.
I need a flag.